It's prime time on national TV, with millions watching. The host, Rachel Anderson, is joined by Karoline Leavitt, a spokesperson for Donald Trump's 2024 campaign. They're discussing hot-button issues like immigration policies, the use of disaster relief funds for border control, and the ongoing border crisis. Tensions are high as the debate heats up, with Karoline standing firm on her views while Rachel presses for answers. Rachel Anderson, the host, asking a tough question. She looks at Karoline Leavitt, who is sitting across from her, and asks about something Trump did in 2019. Rachel wants to know why Trump's campaign is now criticizing President Biden for using disaster relief funds for immigration, when Trump did the same thing in 2019. She tries to set a trap for Karoline, hoping to catch her in a contradiction. Rachel's question is pointed and challenging. She asks, in 2019, the Trump administration used disaster relief funds to manage immigration. Now, President Biden is doing the same thing. Why is it wrong when Biden does it, but not when Trump did it? It's clear Rachel is trying to force Karoline into a difficult spot. If Karoline answers this question badly, it could make her seem like a hypocrite, especially because both administrations used the funds in a similar way. The audience waits, eager to see how Karoline will respond. Karoline stays calm. She smiles slightly, adjusts her microphone, and takes a moment to think. She knows exactly what to say. She answers confidently, without hesitation. The difference, Rachel, is very clear, Karoline says, her voice steady. In 2019, President Trump was dealing with a border crisis caused by weak immigration policies under President Obama. Trump used every tool he could to protect the country. What we're seeing now under Biden is completely different. Rachel raises an eyebrow. She seems surprised by Karoline's calm response. But isn't it the same action? She presses. Both presidents used disaster relief funds to manage the border crisis. Karoline doesn't flinch. She responds firmly, no, Rachel. The difference is control. President Trump enforced the law. He worked with other countries, like Mexico, to stop illegal immigration. He deported illegal immigrants and even built a border wall to secure our nation. What we see under Biden is chaos. Biden has removed Trump's policies, and now we have millions of illegal immigrants crossing the border. Rachel leans forward, clearly trying to challenge Karoline again. But Trump also faced massive immigration issues. Why was it right under Trump, but wrong under Biden? Karoline's answer is quick and sharp. Trump didn't reward illegal immigration, Rachel. He made agreements with Mexico, expanded the Remain in Mexico policy, and took real steps to fix the crisis. Biden, on the other hand, has removed those policies. Now, he's giving luxury hotel rooms to illegal immigrants at taxpayer expense. The audience murmurs, impressed by Karoline's calm and strong responses. Rachel can tell she's not getting through to Karoline. But she doesn't give up. So, you're saying Biden has no control over immigration? Karoline answers with confidence. I'm saying Biden has completely failed. Under Trump, illegal border crossings dropped. Under Biden, more than 5 million people have crossed the border illegally in just 2 years. That's not control. It's a disaster. Rachel presses further, trying to land a strong punch, but Karoline's calm, confident responses keep cutting through. The debate is heating up, but Karoline is holding her ground, making it clear that the difference between Trump's policies and Biden's failures is something she stands by. As the debate continues, Rachel Anderson becomes more determined to push Karoline into a corner. She knows she's not getting the answers she wants, so she decides to press harder. Rachel tries to challenge Karoline's arguments, hoping to make her contradict herself or admit that the Trump administration made mistakes. Rachel leans forward again, narrowing her eyes slightly. So, Karoline, you keep talking about how bad things are under Biden. But under Trump, there were still huge issues at the border, and he was criticized for how migrants were treated. So why was it okay for Trump to do these things, but now it's wrong when Biden does it? Karoline doesn't get rattled. She stays calm, her voice steady. Rachel, there's a difference between enforcing the law and encouraging illegal immigration. Under Trump, the goal was always to stop illegal crossings. He worked to fix the system, not reward people for breaking the law. Rachel's tone sharpens, trying to catch Karoline off guard. But Trump also faced criticism for holding migrants in overcrowded facilities and separating families. If it was wrong for Biden to do that, how can you defend Trump's actions? Karoline is quick on her feet. She doesn't let Rachel's question make her defensive. Instead, she turns the focus back to the broader issue. What's worse, Rachel? She asks. A crowded detention center or an open border where drug cartels run wild, where human traffickers cross freely, and where fentanyl floods our communities? Under Trump, we were stopping illegal crossings. Under Biden, we're rewarding them. The audience reacts, some nodding in agreement with Karoline's answer. Rachel realizes she's not getting anywhere with this line of questioning. She quickly shifts gears, but Karoline is ready. You talk about conditions at the border, Rachel says, trying another tactic. But didn't Trump also face major immigration waves and challenges? Karoline stays calm. Yes, Trump faced challenges, but he didn't make them worse. He enforced the law. He built the wall, made agreements with Mexico, and worked to end illegal immigration. Biden, on the other hand, dismantled those efforts, and now we're seeing a surge in illegal crossings. Rachel presses even harder, but Karoline just keeps turning her questions back on her. So, you're saying the Biden administration has no control? Rachel asks, trying to get Karoline to admit that Biden isn't doing enough. Biden's not even trying to control the border, Karoline responds firmly. Under Trump, illegal crossings were down, and there was a plan to fix the system. Biden's decision to end those plans has made things worse. Over 5 million illegal immigrants have crossed the border under his watch. That's not control, Rachel. That's a disaster. Rachel knows she's losing ground. Karoline's answers are strong, clear, and consistent. She's not just defending Trump, she's turning every question into an attack on Biden's leadership. Rachel can't get Karoline to say what she wants, so she tries to change the focus again. But Karoline is ready, and every time Rachel tries to pin her down, Karoline flips the conversation, pointing out the real problem, the failure of the current administration to enforce the law. Karoline's control of the debate is becoming more evident as the tension in the studio rises. The debate has been building to a boiling point. Karoline Leavitt has skillfully handled every question Rachel Anderson has thrown at her. She hasn't flinched or gotten rattled. Instead, Karoline continues to turn the questions back on Rachel, pointing out the failures of the Biden administration and contrasting them with the actions taken by Trump. Rachel, clearly frustrated, realizes she's losing control of the interview. Karoline isn't backing down, and Rachel can't force her to admit anything. Karoline's answers are clear, confident, and consistent. The audience can feel the tension rising in the room. This isn't just a debate about immigration anymore. It's becoming a fight over who can control the conversation, and Karoline is winning. Rachel looks at Karoline, then at the camera, and makes a sharp decision. She cuts the interview short. Karoline, you're avoiding the question. I've asked you multiple times, and you're not giving me a direct answer, Rachel says, her voice tense. We're going to have to end this interview now. The words hang in the air. The studio goes silent for a moment. The abrupt end to the interview catches everyone off guard, especially the audience. Karoline, however, remains calm and composed. She doesn't get upset or raise her voice. Instead, she simply looks at Rachel with a steady gaze. Her expression says it all, she knows what's happening. The tension in the room is palpable. Rachel quickly turns away, and the producers in the back are already scrambling. The cameras move away from Karoline, but the damage is already done. As the lights flicker off, Karoline stands up and adjusts her microphone slowly. She doesn't rush. She's poised and controlled, and she knows that the world is watching. The audience in the studio begins to murmur. Some are shocked at the sudden cut-off, while others are clearly confused. It's clear that the interview didn't go the way Rachel or national TV expected. Karoline's calm demeanor only highlights the fact that the interview ended not because she wasn't answering questions, but because she was winning the argument. Backstage, the producers know they've made a big mistake. They were hoping to get Karoline to admit something, to make her appear defensive or guilty. Instead, Karoline has made it clear that she won't be bullied or backed into a corner. By cutting her off, national TV has inadvertently given Karoline an even bigger platform. She now appears as a victim of media bias, and that's exactly how her supporters will see it. Karoline's calm response and the sudden end to the interview give her the perfect opportunity to turn the situation to her advantage. The audience outside the studio is already reacting. The studio atmosphere is tense, but Karoline knows the real battle is happening on social media. This decision to cut her off mid-interview only reinforces the perception of bias. Instead of Rachel gaining control, it looks as though national TV was afraid of losing the debate to Karoline. Karoline has turned the tables, and now she's not just a spokesperson for the Trump campaign, she's a symbol of standing up to media manipulation. As soon as the interview ends, the reactions begin to flood in. Karoline Leavitt's calm yet powerful performance has already left a lasting impression. But now, with the abrupt cut-off, the situation is spiraling out of control for national TV. Social media goes wild almost instantly. The hashtag Karoline National TV starts trending worldwide, and people are picking sides. Conservatives, who feel the mainstream media has been unfair to their views for years, immediately rallied behind Karoline. They praise her for standing her ground and for exposing national TV's bias. They see her as a fighter who refused to be pushed into a corner, and they believe her calm, confident responses show that she was right all along. The reactions from conservative commentators are quick and strong. They're calling out national TV for cutting Karoline off mid-interview, saying it's proof the network couldn't handle her truth. Tweets and posts flood in, calling it media censorship and accusing national TV of trying to silence her because they were losing the debate. Fox News picks up the story almost immediately, sharing clips of the interview with commentary about how national TV couldn't handle the heat. On the other hand, liberals criticize Karoline for dodging tough questions. They argue that she avoided answering directly and that national TV was justified in cutting her off because Karoline wasn't giving clear, straightforward answers. Some argue she used political spin instead of answering the difficult questions about Trump's policies. They see the cut-off as necessary, as they believe Karoline was simply avoiding the issues. These reactions are far less widespread, but they add fuel to the ongoing debate. Behind the scenes at national TV, the situation is even worse. Executives are scrambling to manage the fallout. They hadn't anticipated this level of reaction. The decision to cut Karoline off has backfired, and now the network is facing accusations of bias and censorship. The PR team is working overtime to come up with a statement to explain the decision. But the damage is already done. Many people, especially conservatives, now view national TV as a network that silences opposing viewpoints when they can't win the argument. The hashtag Karoline National TV continues to trend, with more and more people calling for national TV to be held accountable for what they see as unfair treatment. In the national TV newsroom, the atmosphere is tense. Executives meet privately to discuss what went wrong and how to repair the damage. Some are suggesting that Rachel Anderson should address the situation publicly, but others worry that doing so might only make things worse. The decision to cut the interview has made it seem as though national TV is afraid of losing control of the debate. Instead of handling the tough questions, they shut down the conversation, which only gives Karoline more attention and credibility. The network's credibility has taken a serious hit, and many are questioning whether they can regain the trust of their audience. For Karoline, though, this has become a win. She's turned a negative situation into a major boost for her career, and she's using it to her advantage, gaining more supporters and building her profile as a strong political figure. After the interview ends, Karoline Leavitt wastes no time capitalizing on the moment. She knows that the unexpected cutoff has given her an opportunity to grow her profile, and she uses it to her advantage. Almost immediately, Karoline takes to social media to share her side of the story. She tweets, "National TV couldn't handle the truth, so they cut me off. The American people deserve better than this biased media." The tweet goes viral in no time. Her followers quickly respond, sharing her message and praising her for standing up against what they see as unfair treatment. The hashtag Karoline National TV continues to trend, and people are flooding social media with support. Many conservatives who have felt frustrated with mainstream media for years now see Karoline as a champion of truth. They admire her calm and confident handling of the interview, especially when she was cut off mid-sentence. To them, she's a hero who isn't afraid to stand up to the powerful media. As the tweet gains traction, Karoline's message is picked up by more conservative outlets. Fox News, in particular, sees the huge opportunity and runs with the story. Fox highlights Karoline's calmness and poise during the debate, while emphasizing how national TV tried to silence her once she started winning the argument. The network begins calling her a fighter for truth and a rising star in conservative politics. Fox News hosts start discussing the incident on their shows. They praise Karoline for exposing media bias and for her strong stand on important issues like immigration. They share clips of the debate and cut-off moment, showing Karoline's composed response as evidence of how she dominated the interview. Her social media following grows by the minute as more people see the story on Fox and other conservative platforms. Trump's campaign quickly catches on to Karoline's rise. Seeing her as a powerful spokesperson who has the ability to fight back against the media, they move fast to position her as a key figure in their 2024 election strategy. Karoline, once mainly known as a spokesperson, is now gaining recognition as a strong voice in politics. Her profile continues to grow as she appears on more conservative talk shows and podcasts. Karoline becomes a regular guest on Fox News, where she shares her views on immigration, media bias, and the need for stronger leadership. Every appearance helps her build her brand as a fearless defender of conservative values. This rise doesn't just give her attention, it makes her a key player in the 2024 election. As she gains momentum, it becomes clear that Karoline Leavitt is no longer just a spokesperson for Trump's campaign. She is a powerful political figure in her own right, and she's using the moment she was given to take her career to new heights. The incident between Karoline Leavitt and national TV quickly becomes more than just a debate over immigration policies. It sparks an intense reaction across the country, deepening the divide between conservative America and the mainstream media. Conservatives see Karoline as a hero. They praise her for standing up to national TV and exposing the network's bias. To them, Karoline represents the truth, someone who refuses to back down even when the media tries to shut her down. She's become a symbol of resistance, a voice for people who feel ignored by the mainstream media. For many conservatives, she's the champion who can call out the media for its unfair treatment of people with different political views. On the other hand, national TV and other mainstream media outlets are facing harsh criticism. The decision to cut Karoline off mid-interview is seen by many as an attempt to silence her because they couldn't control the conversation. Conservatives accuse national TV of bias, saying the network was scared of losing the debate and, therefore, decided to end it abruptly. This leads to growing distrust of the media, especially among conservatives, who feel their views are often misrepresented or ignored. The incident intensifies the larger cultural and political divide in America. People are no longer just debating immigration or disaster relief funds, they're debating the role of the media and whether it's truly impartial. The fallout from this event only adds fuel to the fire. The media is now being scrutinized more than ever before, with people on both sides of the political spectrum questioning its fairness and credibility. For Karoline, however, the aftermath is far more positive. The debate has elevated her to a whole new level of political prominence. She becomes a rising star in conservative politics, her political career skyrocketing as more people see her as a fearless leader. Her message has resonated with millions of Americans who feel that their voices are not being heard in mainstream discussions. Karoline's ability to turn this media confrontation into a political win solidifies her place as an influential figure in the 2024 election. As the story spreads, Karoline's role in Trump's campaign grows. Her appearances on conservative media outlets, particularly Fox News, increase as her profile continues to rise. She becomes one of the most important voices in the Trump 2024 campaign, using her platform to advocate for stronger border policies, to criticize the Biden administration, and to call out media bias. Trump's team recognizes her talent and quickly integrates her into their strategy. She's no longer just a spokesperson, she's now a key figure in the movement. Meanwhile, national TV and the mainstream media find themselves in a difficult position. The backlash against their handling of the interview continues to grow. Public trust in the network begins to decline, especially among conservatives, who see national TV as part of the media establishment that favors liberal viewpoints. National TV tries to recover by issuing statements defending their editorial decisions, but the damage is done. People are already questioning the network's objectivity, and the incident is likely to affect how the network is perceived for years to come. What began as a routine debate about immigration policies has turned into a defining moment in the ongoing battle between politicians and the press. The event has reshaped the way people view the media, especially in the context of political debates. Karoline Leavitt has gone from being a relatively unknown spokesperson to becoming a key figure in conservative politics. The way she handled the national TV debate, and the fallout that followed, has turned her into a rising star within the Republican Party. For national TV, this incident has had lasting consequences. The network's decision to cut Karoline off mid-interview has created a public relations disaster that will likely follow them for years. The accusations of bias are not easily dismissed, and many viewers are now questioning the fairness of the network. This moment will go down in history as a turning point in the relationship between the media and politicians. It's no longer just about policy debates, it's about who controls the narrative. For Karoline, the media's attempt to silence her only made her louder. She has successfully used the controversy to grow her political career, and she's now a powerful figure in the 2024 election. The debate has not only impacted Karoline and national TV, but it has also shaped how future political and media narratives will unfold. The media will have to work harder to regain trust, and politicians will continue to challenge the mainstream press, making the battle between politicians and the media even more intense in the years to come.